give starting bands?
Do it for the right reasons, because you love it.
Yeah, don't do it because you think you're going to make it. You're doing it because you're going there to create music and create music that no one else could make but you. That's what your mission is. If you do that and you find your individuality, you have found success. That's what it's really about. It's not just necessarily, I got to record a record. You got to record your record. No one else could record that record but you. You have to create the music that goes on that record. That's what it has to be.
And have fun with it.
Have fun with it.
You know, if you don't have no fun, then you shouldn't be around rock and roll. End of story. You know.
You're going $150 on the double kick, and now everyone's doing it. How do you feel about that?
I have a feel
The drumming is what it all is.
I have a feel that was given to me from the universe, and everybody wants that feel, but I'm the one that has it. And Anvil's music is the one that puts it out there. It's a beautiful thing, and I'm totally humbled and inspired by the fact that it's influenced so many people, and they wanted to try to get that. I was influenced strictly by the greats of my time, which to me still are the greats of all time. Nobody's been able to outdo the sick feels of Gene Krupa, Buddy Rich, Ginger Baker, Ian Pace. These people, for me, laid the foundation for all the greatest stuff that we all grew to know. Yeah.
I was watching an interview that you guys were doing for VH1, and then Phil Anselmo comes in.
That was great. That was funny.
Tell us about that, and Winged Assassins, and when he joins you on stage.
You want to know something really, really fascinating. Phil had, at that point, and I still don't even know for sure, had never seen the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But his feeling, I mean, he's our friend. We've known him for many years. I always loved Anvil.
I was talking with G5 earlier, and his generation, his age group, is the bridging gap between you guys and my generation. And for us, we look up to guys like Phil. We worship them. What's it like to have those guys worship you?
Maybe that's always been part of the driving will to survive, because we've always felt that and known that, and those guys have always told us that. So we've had not only a belief from within ourselves, but a belief from our peers.
Our peers have always told us that they find us overwhelming, inspirational, and awesome.
And just the same way that when we go backstage to meet, like when we were hanging out with Ronnie James Dio, it was amazing, man. It's the guys who are just in front of you in line. It doesn't matter to a musician how many records you sold or how meaningful. It's how meaningful are you to me. See, if I sat down with Burt Shelley, I'd give him as much respect as I would give Ozzy. It's one of the old dogs, man. The generation before me, damn right. It's just the way it works.
What's fun for me about all this is that I have fun doing it, and if people get off on it, then
we're fans.
It was all worth doing it because people are getting it. That's what gets me off. When I see people rocking and smiling, and I can tell that they're getting off on what they're watching, listening to, you can't get. It's better than sex.
Better than sex?
For me.
Yeah, but I thought you wanted to go see the eye candy on the beach.
That's looking at it.
What do you guys have planned for the shows in South America?
We're going to just play our classic power set, more or less. We do.
And a good friend will be there. What are you listening to lately there, G?
I was listening to Seven Son lately.
Excellent album.
Absolutely.
Is that on the car or
iPod?
On your iPod. What else is on your iPod?
Everything from Tony Bennett to Slayer.
What about you, Rob?
Tony Bennett.
Lately, Lately, I've been listening to
the
Juggernaut of
silk
Justice.
voice.
That's what I've been listening to lately, is the Juggernaut of Justice. So I listen to Sabbath. Well, I listen to Sabbath recently. I listen to some Hendrix.
You know what I do is I sit on YouTube all night and watch and find some of the most amazing footage that I've ever seen in my life. You know, like stuff that I waited my whole life to see. I finally get to see it.
Like what?
So just different bands performing different songs at different points in their career with different musicians. Just too many to I spend hours at it. What are we going to start talking about? You know, like the most obscure. You look for the most obscure. If nothing else, it's great that people that YouTube is there. It's been an incredible source of entertainment for me, and it's not, but mostly for music. I use it strictly for music. I don't go looking for find guy falling out of window. You know, they don't write falling out of window,
Yeah.
and you know they go a whole page of that shit. I'm not one of those kind of people, and I don't look for the viral stuff. It's really specifically, you know, I want to watch Foghat performing. I Just Want to Make Love to You, and there I'm watching one of my old-time favorite bands playing one of my all-time favorite songs, rather than start going through my CD collection. You know what was really amazing? There's this old band called Love Sculpture. And I think this stuff came out in '68. For what it did foretell for the future as far as guitar playing, it's actually pretty phenomenal. There's a version of the Saber Dance, as well as a piece called Farandole. Just absolutely mind-boggling. That's what I'm saying, obscure stuff. I can sit and watch it all night, no problem.
You were just mentioning Juggernaut of Justice. Can you guys tell us about that?
It's got great playing, great vocals, catchy, and it's got some new stuff on it that we've never done before. You know, we have a metal jazz song on it. The production's incredible.
What's your favorite song?
I got too many right now. This album has an incredible flow from top to bottom. It's very.
Every song has a certain specific
I love it all.
feature about it
There's
that,
a few special
that
ones.
none of the other songs have. But you know what I'm saying? They have their own, each individual view, but all very, very, very thoroughly
Tightly
angled.
arranged. Sounds like us. Every diehard fan that ever loved this band.
We'll love it even more.
This will probably be their most favorite album, I think.
Well, actually,
It's
we have this thing for a specific period of time and a specific kind of music, and it's big band swing. Big band swing took place in a certain time, and there are these incredible artists, just like in the genre of heavy metal, that were at the top of the top notch. It was the real shit, you know, that it takes, and we just really love that essence. It's actually an incredible
We
essence.
talked for quite a while that we wanted to do something
So-
like what we've done. You haven't heard it yet, but
Yeah. So
Yeah.
what it did, this influence eventually. One day I come in and I could hear, like, I woke up in the morning and I could hear horns doing this progression of chords. Okay, so I'm thinking, but those chords are falling in a really speed swing, big band swing. So that really. So when I got to rehearsal, I'm explaining. Before we actually ever sit down and write, we explain what we're going to do. Like we talk it through.
like an open discussion, you know.
We have open discussion. Okay, we're gonna, and then I'll demonstrate what it's doing. And okay. He's never played the thing, but he's going, okay. And it's the same thing with G5. You know,
You interpret.
just listen to,
It's
fuck, okay,
interpretation,
I gotcha. Okay, so, where are we gonna put the brakes? Well, let's see. We got this, and we listen. We try a bunch of shit, and okay, we'll put a brake here. We'll do this. We'll that. Okay, then we sit down and we just play the fucking thing. Just start playing
He's
it.
jamming. He's
And then
jamming.
you fit all the parts so that they're all knit tight and everybody's playing the same thing and everybody's going. But all through this process, I could hear, you know, the horns where they go.
The other part. Anyways, just go for this. See, this song that we're
And
talking
then at
about
the end of the day,
will blow you away.
we've got this cross of you know, with that, because it's in essence totally related, and it's like an complete intertwining of those two worlds just by simply adding horns to what the guitars are doing. You shouldn't really make a decision on what, just like you shouldn't make a decision on what your guitar solo is going to be when you go into the studio, the same thing should apply with your vocals. Because when you get to the studio, you can get it to where it's got to get to. When you lock yourself into a learned pattern before you get there, it's never going to get better. It never has room for improvement. It never has really the chance to actually grow because you've stunted it. You've stunted it at a certain stage, or even more crucial, you've been using the wrong kind of message in the lyrics and ruining a great song.
What's more important to you, the technicality of what you're playing, or the message that you're carrying through, or do you think both are equal?
I think everything is completely connected. It's a whole chain, and anything weak will make that chain break, and you won't. If it falls short, that's what happens. That's why, because either something isn't right. Either the message wasn't right, the delivery wasn't right, the tempo wasn't. Something wasn't right. Everything's got to be correct.
Earlier when you were talking about the Zeitgeist movie, do you think that's gonna, or it would at one point, inspire lyrics or a theme or anything?
I suppose in the level of maybe one of the songs on the album you could stretch it and say that might have something to do with that in a certain sense, which would be Conspiracy, but that would be the only song that I could think of that really had an inspiration in that direction. But I don't know absolutely for sure that that's why it came to be, or did it just sound good singing Conspiracy? I think it just sounded good singing Conspiracy, and then I tapped into some of my thoughts and feelings about the Zeitgeist movies, and not just that, but a number of movies that are of that nature.
Where else could you get your inspiration from?
Well, it just depends. It's like I say, it really depends on, most of it is really about state of mind and where you are at the moment and the way you feel at the moment. Whether you want it to be or don't want it to be. I think when you're in a good place, you get generally write about positive things. You know, if you're in a positive place in your life. And the reverse applies also. You know, if you're a deadbeat drunk and you're really miserable and basically you're 2 inches away from killing yourself, what are your lyrics going to be like? You know, one that everybody knows and loves. Yeah, it's been with me for a long time. Since 82, I guess. Just custom made thing. This is more amazing. This is my new love. I'm in love with a Gibson. This is becoming my new war horse. This is an unbelievable guitar. I know this looks peculiar to most, but as you can see, it is peculiar because it's not like any other semi-hollow that you've ever seen.
Do you have a thing for semi-hollow bodies, or
Oh,
it happens to be that way?
Absolutely.
Why?
You have to pay for it?
Too many reasons to as a million reasons. The sound, weight. But this is an extraordinary instrument because this is actually what they call 3/4. It's a little bit shorter of a string length,
Yeah.
which
Mine took a few days.
makes it
extraordinary.
extraordinarily light to play.
It's funny too, because
Cool.
my sister-in-law
It's not-
was telling
it's
me
not
this whole big thing about
A huge, massive difference
they don't pierce
than
it.
other guitars are, but it's enough that
Tell me that's exactly what he did.
I can tell the difference, let's put it that way. Actually not, it is semi-hollow, but it's chambered.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually like cutouts
I did mine when
wood, you know, where it is hollow. But I believe that there's sections that are all completely solid. They don't make these guitars anymore. This is Gibson in Germany gave this to me
I didn't know that, man.
when I was there in Berlin last year, and I've been using it ever since.